This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
Right now at 4, getting drivers to slow it down on Big Bend. Kirkwood leaders say they want to reduce the speed limit on that busy street. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brent Solomon.
And I'm Kay Quinn. Tomorrow night, the Kirkwood City Council will vote on a resolution to ask St. Louis County to reduce the speed limit along Big Bend through Kirkwood city limits. 5 on your side's Tracy Hinson joins us live along Big Bend Boulevard. Tracy, how much do they want to reduce the speed?
Okay, so roughly 5 to 10 miles per hour, depending on where you're at on Big Bend. So in Kirkwood, it could be anywhere from 40 to 35 miles per hour, and the city council wants it dropped down to 30 miles per hour. Now, it does come down to St. Louis County, who manages the road. We spent about 20 minutes at the corner of Big Bend and Old Big Bend near 270. For the most part, drivers observed the speed limit of 40 miles per hour. There were a few outliers going over 40, closer to 50 miles per hour. Thursday night, the City Council will vote on a resolution to ask the St. Louis County Department of Transportation to lower the speed limit from 40 to 30. I spoke with County Council member for District 3, Dennis Hancock. He says it's unusual for a City Council to ask the County Council directly for a speed change.
Not usually. Usually this goes through the Transportation and Public Works group, but if they want to pass a resolution, it may carry a little bit more weight if the City Council does something like that rather than just some individual phone calls.
The resolution is the last item on tomorrow's agenda for the Kirkwood City Council. Coming up at 6 o'clock, I talked to the mayor of Kirkwood about what she wants to see done and why she's tried and failed at this before. In Kirkwood, I'm Tracy Hinson, 5 on your side.
All right, thank you, Tracy. An O'Fallon, Missouri man died after he was hit by a car in Chesterfield. A Missouri Highway Patrol crash report says around 9:30 last night, 46-year-old Michael Ham was crossing I-64 east of Boone's Crossing when he was hit by a car in the westbound lanes. Ham died at the scene. The car was seriously damaged. The driver was not injured.
We have an update now on that radioactive contamination in North St. Louis County. Just hours ago, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers shared it is now finished cleaning up the Coldwater Creek. The remediation project took place along Jana Drive in Florissant. That's near Jana Elementary School, which had to shut down in 2022 due to the contamination concerns. Radioactive material from the first atomic bomb was dumped there decades ago. The government says the contaminated soil is now gone and it is replaced with clean soil. Well, get ready for a pretty dry stretch of weather. This morning's rain is moved out of the bi-state, leaving some pretty comfortable temperatures with us. Meteorologist Gary Frank is in for Scott. He joins us now with a first look at the forecast.
Yeah, good evening. We still haven't gotten rid of the clouds yet fully from west to east, but we're trying. And that's what we look at here as we look downtown over St. Louis. Pretty nice. And what we'll notice is obviously it's taken a while for the clouds to fully get out of here as that rain has exited. And you'll notice that that flow is pushed out of the northwest. And right now, as those clouds down Market Street show a mix of sun and clouds, it's at 84 degrees. It's still warmed up very nicely, and it even feels like 86. That's something we felt yesterday. Those dew points in the mid-60s. It's muggy, but the key for us, the wind out of the west-northwest at 12 miles an hour. Now that this front has moved through, we can expect it to not be quite as humid tomorrow and even better on Friday before things maybe turn up a little bit on Saturday. But let's focus on this evening. Temps fall into the 70s, and we won't drop a ton tonight until we start to get that humidity really start to drop. And I think that's going to happen over the next 36 hours. But temperatures are fairly steady, at least in the short term. We've got a rather dry stretch with one particular rain chance, which may impact your weekend. We'll highlight that and also talk about just how hot we're going to get in the next 10 days.
All right, Gary, see you soon. Well, just in the past 30 minutes, the Senate voted down a bill that would protect access to birth control nationwide.
As NBC's Bree Jackson reports, the vote is largely symbolic, but comes in a heated election year.
Reproductive freedoms are front and center as Democrats push to put Republicans on the spot about where they stand on access to contraceptives.
Americans' uncertainty about using birth control is one of the many shameful consequences of overturning Roe v. Wade. This is the mess Donald Trump, the MAGA Supreme Court, and the Republican-led Senate has created.
Democrats say they're focusing on a larger effort to protect reproductive rights nationwide. Many Republicans argue this latest bill, aimed at contraceptives, is less about passing legislation and more about sending a political message.
Democrats think they can win this case, this election based on reproductive rights, and somehow they're suggesting that contraception is in jeopardy, which is just blatantly false.
Since the overturning of Roe v. Wade, some Republican-led states have passed bills that limit access to abortions, and there are concerns about protecting IVF treatments, all of which are further dividing voters. While a recent NBC News poll found inflation and immigration are top of mind, Democrats are working to raise the stakes on issues like abortion.
Here we have reproductive justice, which we know that will mobilize voters.
The other part of this is you can wrap the abortion issue and reproductive freedom into a broader issue of preserving democracy and your own freedoms, whatever those freedoms happen to be.
The political debate comes as the country awaits a major Supreme Court ruling on whether to limit access to the widely used abortion medication, mifepristone. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Missouri Senator Josh Hawley led the Republican effort to block the vote on contraception access. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is gathering reaction to the vote. Look for his reports tonight on 5 on Your Side at 5 and 6.
Well, just a few hours ago, St. Louis County broke ground on its new public safety complex. This is off of Schaefer Road in Maryland Heights. It will be their new location for Police Precinct 2 and the site of the county's police intelligence and property control centers. St. Louis County is using $46 million in federal relief funding to pay for it.
Missouri's first rural emergency hospital is now open in St. Francis County. Hours ago, 5 on Your Side got an inside look at Parkland Health Center in Bonne Terre. A rural emergency hospital is a new type of provider that was established in Missouri last year. The designation means Parkland Bonne Terre can focus on expanded emergency and primary care services, which are lacking in many communities.
The fact that we're here and that we have quick access and they're right here in their community, that's very important to be able to have that service available, or any type of healthcare service available that's local, that you can access versus having to drive long distances.
A majority of patients will be treated at Parkland Health Center and released, but some patients will need to be transitioned to a larger hospital for inpatient care.
Well, the Americans who liberated Europe from the Germans are 100 years old or older now. Why D-Day remembrances are even more touching this year.
Amanda Knox back in an Italian courtroom. Why the American is still facing charges in a 17-year-old murder.
Could the Kansas City Chiefs soon rep a different state? Who's trying to lure the Super Bowl champs away from Missouri?